Hi everybody, welcome to Sophquest. I'm Spence. So you may have noticed I've taken a bit more breaks in between the last few weeks for the holiday season. I needed to do that for my own health and well-being. And I hope you've been taking a little bit of time, a little extra time for yourselves as well. But I want to let you know I'll be back to doing your weekly readings very soon after the holiday season. So thank you so much for coming by. I hope you enjoy these readings. And I want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you that celebrate anything else. Hi Cancer. Alright, so right now for this holiday time period, I'm going to be using for you for your reading today the Enchanted Map Oracle by Colette Baron Reid with the art of Jenna Della Gratalia and the Lightseers Tarot by Chris Ann. Alright, Cancer, I'm going to start shuffling. I have already pre-shuffled these quite a bit, but I'll shuffle a little bit more for you on camera and we'll get going. I'm going to pull one of the Oracle cards to give me sort of an overreaching understanding of what's going on in the macro for you. And then I will lay out your 9-card spread and look at the 3 cards under the deck, which gives me an indication of your internal subconscious stuff that may be happening that we're working through in the 9 card, right? So I'm going to read horizontally, there it is, flipped right over, horizontally, vertically, and big picture for you today. All right, Cancer? You just got listening, the listening card. Isn't that a beautiful card? I like that very much. I'm going to read you the message. It's a rather short message out of the book because I think the writing is absolutely apropos for the time right now. We are in the week of the Gemini full moon. We are still in Sagittarius season until the 21st. So then we are going to move into the Capricorn season. But while we're still in Sagittarius, the opposite axis of Sagittarius during that season, the Sagittarius season, we have the full moon in its opposite axis, Gemini. Now, the North Node, which is sort of the Dharma, where we're heading in life, the lessons that we're learning and the things that we're aspiring to understand and learn, that has been in Gemini, with the South Node in Sagittarius for the last 18 months or longer. And the truth of the matter is that this Gemini full moon, I think, is going to be sort of a culmination of understanding what we've been learning in this time of great change. And because this full moon has a very important astrological thing that's happening, Venus retrograde. Venus is the planet of love, money, beauty, the things we desire, the things that we love, the things that we cherish, the things that we want in our lives, right? So yes, money, but only because it has value to bring good things into our lives that we value, right? So but mostly love and relationships and pleasure and pleasantries and good times and the things that we prioritize in our lives that we look forward to, right? Kind of the la dolce vita, the stuff of life that we just really want in our lives that make us happier. Well, Venus, when it goes retrograde, it's a time for review. It's a time to review what it is that you're valuing, whom you're valuing, the what, the who, what, where, when, and why. You care about what you care about. And you love what you love. And you love whom you love. It's a time for review. Now, Venus does go retrograde, or at least it stations at the 0 point, stops in the sky, which is a very potent energy. And that happens at the full moon. And then as it retrogrades, we will be in a time of review, and it retrogrades until January 29th, so the full month of January. And you know, the last bit of December, and then it will have a post-shadow period where it moves forward. So it's a big time of change, of having the Gemini full moon awareness and understanding of what it is in our lives that we prioritize, that we value, that we truly want to take forward in our lives, and the things that don't any longer resonate with our lives, that don't feel like love, or goodness, or happiness, and allowing those things to be shed from our lives, because it makes room, doesn't it? It makes room for us to make the changes that we need to make to be happier. So that's all happening this week. And then on the 24th of December is that third in the trifecta that we've had all year, the third installment, if you will, of the square between Uranus, the planet of shock, awe, innovation, change, and the future, and the planet Saturn, the old guard, the way things are done, the way that we know how to do things, the things that we count on, and the way that it's always been, right? The traditional versus the non-traditional. These three squares have been sort of the predominant energy of this year, 2021. I've called this the year of growing pains, really, because we're moving from the way things have been done in corporations, in banking, in schooling, in finances, and just in our day-to-day lives, in the way that we work, in the way that we go to school, all of those kinds of changes, and how we've been learning with the North Node in Gemini to learning how to learn to adjust to the changes in the world, because as the world changes, we change, don't we? So that's all happening. It's very big energy. All right. And that final square, the third and final, is on the 24th of December, actually, Christmas Eve. So, you know, it may be a Christmas that is one where we kind of have this epiphany moment where we realize we want to hold on to the traditions that we truly value and want to take forward, teach to our children, our grandchildren, and so on, but also the ones that we can let go of, that just don't make sense in the modern world, and begin new traditions, right? It's kind of that time. And with Venus in retrograde, it's a deep review of what those things are for each and every one of us. All right, now let's go through this. I am seeing for you on the bottom of the deck today, we have the Lovers, the High Priestess, and Temperance. All three of these cards are major arcana, Cancer. In the tarot, the major arcana are the life lesson cards. They're the pinnacle moments in life, choice points, where our lives very often have memorable moments where something in our lives feels different. Something changes. We change. It's a growth moment, if you will. And you have all three. You have three. Now this is internally under the deck. This is subconscious, internally things you're working with. So pretty big things right now for you, Cancer, that you're working through. I believe very much it's about relationships and choices in relationships. Who you love, why you love, how you love, and what you know deep down inside with the High Priestess, what your intuition has been teaching you all along about trusting your feelings about who, what, where, when, and why you love. And the balance, the peace, the amalgam, the perfect temperance, the balance of how you allow it in your life. So big ideas here. This is a big concept. Love, trusting oneself to understand and learn more about the light and the shadow of each and every one of us and how we allow for that. Sort of unconditional love with the Lovers, right? Understanding the depth and the breadth and the width of love and what it takes. The pleasure and the pain, right? The victory and the defeat in love. And Temperance is very much about staying in moderation and allowing for both the light and the shadow. You can see on this card it's the sun and the moon, right? The yin, the yang. You are thinking about how to make your life more peaceful, more balanced. You want to bring healing into your love life, no matter what relationship we're talking about today. For you, Cancer, each and every one of you, it may be a different relationship. It may be all relationships. Or maybe we're talking about how you do this for yourself within all of your relationships. Period. And how you relate with others. And do you trust yourself in love? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust the way that you handle your emotions? Now, this is the card of Sagittarius, the Temperance card. We are in Sagittarius until the 21st. So it's a timely card as well. You're thinking very deeply about love right now. In Sagittarius, during a full moon in Gemini, right? With that moon right there. And this is the Gemini card. So these three cards are very timely about this time right now and how deep it is for you. How deeply inspirational and intuitive it can be for you. I think you're going to get some major downloads, Cancer. I think you're going to understand more about yourself. I think you're going to learn to trust yourself more, to trust your own feelings more, about how to stay in this sense of peace, peaceability. Yeah? Okay. So let's look at the card listening. All right, I'm going to read the message for you today, Cancer, from Colette Baron Reed. All right. This is number 53, if you have the deck, if you have the cards. And you can look at it, read along if you will, if you want to. All right, number 53. Listening. An open heart will hear the message. When this card appears, you're being reminded that there's a time to speak and a time to be silent. Now is an occasion for listening. Pay attention not only to what is being spoken, but also to what is not being said at the moment. For the deeper message is not always obvious. Listen with your heart, not just your ears, and you'll find your clarity. Receiving the listening card is a fortunate sign and ensures a greater understanding in your circumstances. Are you also not feeling heard? Perhaps your needs that are very valid aren't being heard, or that your song is going somehow unsung. Now's the time to bring your message to the world. So, depending on what side of this you're on, you either need to really open your heart and your soul and your mind to listening to others, or maybe you need to find your own voice and say what needs to be said so that others can hear and understand you better. And maybe both. Okay, so listening. Now I'm going to take a good look at your 9 cards here and take it all in while you take 3 deep cleansing breaths with me, Cancer. Just settle in and relax, right? Get some oxygen in the brain. We like to bring down the cortisol, which lowers our stress. Helps to open the mind. All right, let me take a look. Someone is trying to find the courage to speak up. I don't know whether this is you and you need to be heard, or whether this is someone in your life, very prevalent in your life, that you love very much, that needs to hear from you. One way or the other, this is about communication, and it's about having the courage to speak up and to be heard. And having the courage to allow someone else to do that, even if you're worried about what it is that they're trying to say. All right, let's go across the top at first. We have the 8 of Swords, the 2 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups is when someone has been hurt, and they've been hurt in love in one way or another, and they're sad or they're grieving some kind of loss. A loss of love, a loss of friendship, or a loss of understanding, and they can't see the forest for the trees. They can't lift their head up. They can't get over it. It's something that's been difficult to get over, this card. When someone is in the 8 of Swords, they're in a self-imposed prison where they are not really able to understand something. They keep going over and over and over it, trying to figure it out. And because of that, they're blindfolded. They just can't see a solution. But the truth is, if she were to see the truth, her reflection is saying, I don't get this, I don't understand myself, I don't understand what's going on. But in the outside world, the true reflection is that she's okay, and that at any point she can speak up. She does know the truth, the sword of truth. One of those swords is really true, and she could figure it out and make a choice. And in between is the waffling, the 2 of Pentacles. What do I do? Pentacles is a suit of earth, what we make real in life. What seed do I plant? What action do I take? What do I make real? How do I handle this? What do I make as change in the situation? Because I just don't understand what I need to do, because this has been hard for me to get over. Okay. So someone is having trouble getting over something that hurt them, and maybe even doubting whether or not there's love in the situation. I'm saying love because the Lovers is here. I don't think this is just the Gemini full moon. I think you are very, very deeply listening to your intuition, to your higher self, and asking and praying, you know, help me understand how I can make this better, how I can bring it back into balance, into temperance, into cooperation, into healing. This is also a very healing card. These are the concerns of your soul and your heart right now. This is what's internal and subconscious. But right now, in reality, in the real world, with the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's like you just don't know and can't figure out what to do differently, because it's been very difficult to get over. It's been very, very difficult to see the 2 cups that have not been spilled yet. It's been very difficult to see that love is still there. It's been hard to believe in it. The next line, I've got the 8 of Wands, but energy is afoot. This is a fire card, and we are in a fire season still until the 21st, until the winter solstice. While we're still in Sagittarius, the fire season with a Gemini full moon, we're understanding something on a very, very big and deep level. In Venus, retrograding means that taking time out, this is the center of your reading today, to look at things from a different perspective. She's looking into a pool of water, and she's seeing a bunch of like almost runic symbols that she doesn't understand. And she's looking at her own feelings, trying to understand her own feelings about it, her own thoughts about it. And that's why she takes a pause. This is her in review. So maybe this is Venus retrograde for you right now, is that you're going to take time figuring this out. But the energy is already in motion. It's already inevitable. It's coming in motion. And it will be conquered with the Strength card. Someone will have the faith in themselves, the self-mastery, and honestly, the courage to say what needs to be said, to actually go there, to look at their feelings, to look at what it is that's just moving their life forward, a trajectory, and kind of going with the path of least resistance, right? With the Strength card, either we can resist it with our ego and be the lion and know this is my way, you know, my way, the highway, or we can be the lamb and we can defer and listen to another and have the courage to maybe admit when we're wrong, or to allow for the other person, maybe, if it's not you, but maybe the other person, to save face and have the courage to apologize, to explain themselves, so that you understand their perspective, their part of the dynamic and of the story of the situation. All right, with the 2 of Wands, there's a crossroads here, and you will be taking this road, the new road, and you will figure it out. Meanwhile, you are very deeply worried and concerned about it, and it's causing you stress and strife. It is again, with the 8 of Swords and 9 of Swords, this is overthinking to the point where you are exhausting your options with a what-if game. But what if instead you just realize that you're in a divergent path, one way or the other, and that it takes 2 people to have a relationship. You can only do what you can do, and worrying is not going to help. It's not good for your health and well-being. You need sleep, you need rest, you need peace of mind. Then you can confidently move forward with the Queen of Wands here and take right action, knowing yourself, being bold and brave, being self-assured, and creating a way to allow for both people in this relationship to have their light and shadow and bring themselves into peace and balance. If this is just an argument or a matter of differing opinions or whatever, to each his own. And that's not easy to practice. I get it. I do. Because we all have triggers and we all take offense when we're not heard. And most of the time, it's very difficult to remember that old saying, would you rather be kind or would you rather be right? Trust me, Cancer, there is no judgment here. There are many times in my life where I wanted to be right. I was like, no, the truth matters more. But, in moments like that, I'm sure I probably should have just been kind and given that person the bye and allowed them to feel what they felt and think what they thought and say what they said and not take offense. It's not easy for us to do this. So whether someone took offense to something you said or you took offense to what they said, it's time to listen to each other again. And even if this is about a relationship that's already been severed, though I don't see that here, I'm just saying for some of you if that's the case, or if it's a relationship you're considering severing, then the question you're asking yourself is, what do I believe that love really is? What do I believe that it takes? And what do I believe is my final boundary? A boundary that should not and will not be crossed because my standards, my principles are strong and sure. And I know who I am. So I won't be treated unkindly, unfairly, or unjustly by someone who won't listen. So, this is really, you have your free will. And you can choose whatever, whomever, however you want to have your relationships. Cancer, this is just asking you to consider what will bring you peace and healing. That's what you are truly asking of yourself about whatever relationship this refers to. Or perhaps it's about your part in the dynamic of all your relationships. So you're thinking deeply about that. With the High Priestess, you will hear. You will hear from the universe, from God. You will hear. And most especially at Christmas time, right? Where we take a moment to consider peace on earth, goodwill toward men and women. Right? All right, let's get down the vertical. So the Eight of Swords is being stuck in a mindset that is not helping you to solve your problem and needs enlightenment. Okay? Then information in the air coming in. Conversation, traveling to see someone. There is movement in your life that is happening rather rapidly right now. And a choice point, the Two of Wands. You will come to a choice point. And the choice will be, am I going to come out of this going around about it and see myself and the other person for who they are? Someone I love. Someone that I differ from. Someone that I have to decide whether or not I can have in my life in any kind of functional relationship, right? I'm not encouraging anyone to stay in a dysfunctional relationship that's toxic. I'm saying if there's any way to build the bridge instead of burn the bridge, that is something I think you are considering. That is what I think I am looking at here, that I see that is on you, in your subconscious. Okay, so then the Two of Pentacles, weighing it out. What do I do? The value of it. The value of that person in my life. The value of my life if the person is no longer in it. Does that make my life better? Because they're not good for me. This is a choice point time. Two of Wands, Two of Pentacles. You're making a very important decision right now. But please remember, at the full moon, though you may have great enlightenment, Gemini brings in incredible information and enlightenment, helping us learn how to learn better, to make the changes we need to make in a changing world. So at this moment, remember that this is happening while Venus stands still and then retrogrades for a time of review as to whom, what, and how we value the people and things that we love in our life. And why. You're taking time out for that. Center card in your reading today is the Hanged Man. This is a time of deep reflection, a time of pause, a time of reverence, where we pay reverence to what has been, and we remember what's important to us, and we tell ourselves, well, how do I need to consider it now? Perhaps I need another perspective. Perhaps I need to listen to my higher self. Perhaps I need to listen to that person, and perhaps they need to listen to me because I'm suffering myself. So weighing out. How long do you need to wait and weigh it out before you can tell yourself, I can't suffer with this anymore. So something needs to change. And with this here, it's changing. And with these 2 twos, it's changing in a relationship. 2 twos to me is relationship, and with the Lovers under the deck, it's relationship for me. And that's the message I'm seeing for you guys today. During this holiday season with the full moon. And then I do want to remind you that on Christmas Eve, on December 24th, there is going to be that third and final square between the old guard, Saturn, and the new, Uranus, right? Saturn-Uranus square. There have been 3 throughout the year. This will be the third and final. And it's really, what is the amalgam of the old and traditional and the new untraditional? And how do we create a life in balance and in peace to live and let live, love and let love, value what we value, whether you want to be traditional or untraditional, and allowing for all of that, right? It's just a new world. Okay, because 5 of Cups is painful. It's not something we can sit in for long, but when we get stuck there, we just can't get over something. We can't get over it when it's in our head all the time. We keep opening that door because it's unresolved. So instead we get into the state of self-mastery where we are brave enough to be able to say what we need to say, but also humble enough. Okay? The Strength card is both pride and humility, and knowing what is appropriate in what circumstance and how to maneuver through life with self-mastery. Mastering one's ego. Accepting yourself for exactly who you are and accepting anyone else for exactly who they are. We all have the right to have our ego. Our ego, our superego, our id. We are all dealing with superconscious stuff, conscious stuff, and subconscious stuff. We're all dealing with all of that in a changing world. And I guess it's just everybody's responsibility to first and foremost listen to themselves and trust what your feelings have been telling you all along about what you want to do when it comes to this relationship, whether it's romantic, family, friend, anyone, because we are in the time of reviewing what we value and who we value in our lives. I think you're going to do very well, Cancer. I think you're going to master yourself, and I think you're going to remember who you are and what you actually want. What you actually want. You want relief from the 8 and 9 of Swords. You want to come out of this overthinking, anxiety-ridden way of looking at the relationship. 2 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles. I don't know where to go with this. I don't know what to do with this relationship. I have had so much trouble getting over the hurt. But look at you. You've been strong. This has taught you so much about yourself and how to be yourself and be okay with yourself. And hopefully the other person is also being given the safe space to do that for themselves. No matter who we disagree with, no matter who we have trouble getting along with, Hello, computer. No matter that, you know, it goes back to the golden rule, right? It's Christmas time. And to me, it goes back to the golden rule, right? We want to do unto others as we would have them do unto us. If someone needs forgiveness, then you may be needing to consider forgiving someone. If you need forgiveness, you may be needing to ask yourself first and foremost for forgiveness. Ho'oponopono, right? I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Those 4 phrases over and over and over again. Forgive yourself for not being able to get over this. And forgive them for not being able to get over it. Until now. Listening is the answer. Listening to yourself and the other. Lovers, High Priestess, the light and the shadow. The deep wisdom of knowing that we are all made of light and shadow. And the Temperance, bringing them together and making peace. Making peace for the sake of healing. Cancer, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all of you that celebrate any other holiday right now at this time of the year. I want to thank you so much for coming to the channel. I do hope you will like and subscribe and click the bell for notifications. I want to wish you kindness, reverence, and gratitude. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and with your friends this holiday season. Stay safe and be well. Thank you.